Walking these streets, shadows fall, lost in a world, echoes call.
All right.
Searching for life, voices true.
Question. Yeah.
St. James Church.
Again, we're just talking. Just pay
in the
attention.
heart of the blue.
Okay.
Glorify
Let's do
God,
this.
nurture all, share the gospel, hear the call.
Welcome to our 75th anniversary interviews at St. James Lutheran Church. Today we have Duane and Dotty McClure with us, and they have been long-term members of this congregation. In fact, Duane was here at the very beginning, long before the church was in this location.
Right.
As a matter of fact, it's moved a couple times.
Yeah.
A couple times it's moved here.
Good time.
So I always start with the question of well, I'll start with a different question. How did you become a member of this congregation? How did that all start?
Well, I was confirmed at St. John's
Okay.
on
16.
16th Street
Okay.
in Galveston,
Okay.
and I got tangled up in the Sunday school. My parents, Dotty McClure and Donald McClure, they were very active in the church. The doors were open; they were there.
Oh.
That's how my life was.
You're always at the church.
And the rest of the brothers, yeah, and the sister. And we started out at the Spencer Hotel. This is the city jail now.
Oh, is it city jail?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's interesting.
That's where it was. But they had a big ballroom, and every weekend they had a real good time.
Oh, okay.
So they think. But it was a job that we had to do, or we couldn't. There's no way we could, we couldn't handle it that way.
So you had to clean up the
Yeah.
ballroom
So
for the night before, so
we
you could have
had to
church
get the
on
ballroom
Sunday.
ready for a Sunday morning service,
Wow.
and that was every Sunday, every Sunday, and we just didn't miss. And we stayed there for several years. And then we got thinking about moving out. The reservoir was a big eye catcher for us. We thought maybe we'd get out close to the reservoir.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, that was our intention
Oh,
at
okay.
the very first. And so we kept moving. We moved to the YMCA there on 3rd Street, across from the drugstore.
That was
Oh.
later.
Huh?
That was a later. Tell them about your dad building the altar.
Well, I will. And so my dad got busy and saw that we weren't going to have church with nothing to have with the church.
No altar. or
Nothing, yeah,
anything.
no altar.
Yeah.
So he built one.
Oh, he built the altar.
He built one. He is a pattern maker by trade,
Oh, okay.
and he is very good with wood.
Oh,
And
wow.
and he built this altar, and we put it up every Sunday. And then
Oh, my
we took it
goodness.
down
Oh.
to put it away, And so we fought that tooth and nail, but it worked out all right. We had a pretty good crowd there, and a lot of the first members were from Marion, and they went to Fort Wayne and wanted to find out if they can get a pastor
Oh,
to come here in the Missouri Synod.
yeah.
And they said, well, we'll try. So they got busy over in Fort Wayne, and they did get one. And he did very well. He
Now, was that Feeney?
No,
It was
no,
before
before
Feeney.
that.
Was that
Before
Pa-
Feeney.
Pastor
Yeah,
Groudon?
before Feeney.
Oh, okay.
Was that
Groudon,
Pastor
yeah,
Groudon?
Groudon.
Pastor
yeah,
Groudon?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Pastor Groudon. But he did a good job. We all liked him, and we had all kinds of parties there. About like here, but it was very nice. Mom was very active in her ladies' outfits and cooking and sewing and everything else. She just put herself to work.
Sure.
Plus everything else she did. And Dad kept up with his carpentry as well. And so he went on and made the altar.
Wow.
We set it up. Chairs, I don't remember where we got the chairs, but I think it was right there at the hotel somewhere. Anyway, we had to set up, I don't know, probably 25 to 30 chairs.
Oh, sure. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had quite a day, but those people came from St. John's too.
Okay.
They-
St. John's was
Ohio Synod, they called it back then.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Ohio Synod.
Okay.
And so then Liveforth came, and
Who came? I'm sorry.
Liveforth.
Leibparth
Oh, okay.
as a pastor.
Liveforth.
Oh, Livefarth was the name of the
Yeah,
pastor. Oh,
yeah.
okay. I'm sorry.
He came, and he was a good pastor. We liked him.
Cool.
And he had a nice daughter, and she studied music. She started playing the organ and the piano there at church.
That's after they had moved over on Western Avenue.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because you guys moved from there to the YMCA.
YMCA.
No.
Oh,
Yes. From the Spencer Hotel,
Spencer.
we went
Hotel.
to the YMCA.
Oh, that was before my time then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you went to the place on.
Then we went to the one on Western Avenue,
Okay. And
which is it's not even there anymore.
yeah, the building's no longer
Yeah.
there. Where was that though?
Okay.
at
You know
today?
where the
Dollar General store
Dollar
is
General
over.
is at?
Oh, okay.
It was on
Right there.
Western Avenue,
Oh, okay.
facing Western Avenue.
When
And
you-
then the parsonage was across the driveway.
Oh, you had a parsonage.
Oh, we
too.
had
Yeah.
parsonage right there.
And that's where I think it's a lawyer's office there.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
now it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so,
We'll have to go out and take some pictures of that to
yeah.
just to have some reference to
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was a good pastor too. And I had another one. What the world was
Pastor
the name?
Lick. Came
Lick,
after that.
yeah.
Pastor Lick.
Licht.
Lick.
Lick, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he did pretty good. I think so. For me.
Sure.
But anyway, I did teach some Sunday school. I did play the piano at the Spencer Hotel.
Oh, so
And
you play piano, don't you?
Huh?
You play piano.
What?
Well, you,
That's what you want to call it.
you did at least. Yeah.
Well, I did even for the service.
Oh, okay.
Then when I was in boot camp, I played for the pastor there on
Oh.
post. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I played for him. One-handed, but that's on. We gotta praise it. Praise out of it anyway. But anyway, it's fun. And then and Jim, which he's no longer here.
That's your brother, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I had 4 brothers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, me and Jim and Phil. Phil just passed.
Yes.
Him and his wife, and then there's Ron, and Barb and Gary.
Oh, okay.
There's a crowd of it, but it was fun. It was a good family. Mom and Dad, they didn't put up with any nonsense. None whatsoever. They were pretty strict. Pretty strict. More so than what we are today.
Yeah.
And that's a shame,
Yeah.
because I think it spoiled the whole community.
Yeah.
And let me see. I was Sunday school. elder and choir.
You're
was-
elder emeritus, aren't you now?
Huh?
Elder emeritus now.
Yeah.
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 Well, when Pastor Feeney came,
Yeah.
he appointed 2 elders, and Duane was one,
Oh,
and Jean Bogue,
Gene
who
Bogue.
was passed, was the other one.
Oh, okay.
So to start out with, there were just 2 elders.
Now, what year was that? What time period?
Let me see. I graduated in.
Well, this was after
just a minute.
after we moved here.
Oh, okay.
So
After
this
moved
was
back from service. I was
Oh.
4 years in that, and when I come back, then I came to the. They had the building up,
Oh, okay.
and so I was janitor there and did all kinds of work there.
And that was the building at Western?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I was doing. Yeah.
So this was in the 50s or
no,
It was in
actually,
the 50s, late 50s.
yeah.
late 50s? Okay.
Actually, Pastor Feeney
56.
appointed you and Jean after we moved into this building.
Oh,
And
okay.
this was 69, so I'm going to say probably 71, 72, right in there,
Okay.
that
Yeah.
he appointed
Oh,
2
okay.
elders.
Okay.
And it was also that time that he started an altar guild.
Oh, okay.
And there were several of us, and we met one Saturday a month, and one of us was appointed to fix breakfast for everybody else.
Oh,
So we had a breakfast and meeting and discussed the things that Pastor Feeney saw that wasn't right, or giving us praise for things that were.
okay.
So
Okay.
And I was janitor for a long time, along with my work at General Tire.
Okay.
And so I'd come over here on the weekends and whip this thing in shape, and we'd go on with Sunday school and the sermon.
How did you come into the church here?
okay, well,
Blaney.
I met Duane. I was from the northwestern part of Indiana, up in the Notorious area, and I was taking my nurse's training in Gary. And he was in the service, and this was during the Cold War era,
Okay.
where they they had missile defense for major cities, and this was for the Chicago area.
Oh, okay.
And they were all underground, so if you went past, you had no idea.
Oh.
And anyway, one of the girls that I was in training with was dating a fellow from the same base, and he didn't have a car. And he says, "Get my buddy a date." So it was a blind date,
Oh, okay.
and it has lasted. I think it was in 1957 that we met, and we got married in 1959.
Okay.
And then I graduated in 60, and we moved down here. My mother was very, very kind and said, "You go where your husband has work."
Oh, okay.
And so that just erased anything like, well, I don't want to leave my family, because I left them all.
Sure.
And when I moved down here, and the first time that I met his family, he says, "And this is my brother, and this is my brother, and this is my brother." I came from a family, I only had one sister, and she was 15 years older than I.
Oh, okay.
So it was, and here was this one, and that one, and that one, and it was a very large family.
Sure.
But they welcomed me and gave me hugs, and I felt at home.
Good. So you came into the church then.
Yes, and we were over on Western Avenue at that time.
Now, what was your background before that? Is
Methodist.
Methodist. Okay.
Actually, my mother was an Augustana Swedish Lutheran.
Oh, really? Oh.
But
that's
when she
interesting.
met my dad was from the hills of West Virginia.
Okay.
He wasn't about to become a Lutheran.
Yeah.
And,
We don't have a lot of Lutherans in
no,
West Virginia.
There we go.
So my mother, she joined the Methodist Church, and I was raised in the Methodist Church. But my best friend went to the Presbyterian, and I went to Sunday school with her a lot.
Okay.
So that's how that was.
So what was it like to become a Lutheran then?
Well, it was well, it was very different than the Methodist.
Okay.
But the fact that I had gone to my mom's former church, and it was called Hope Lutheran, and it was in Portage. And so I was familiar with a lot of the background. So it was good.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I actually took my confirmation class when I was in nurses training. I was in Chicago for communicable health, and it was at a TB sanitarium. And I found out that the pastor that ministered to the people there was Lutheran.
Oh, okay.
Missouri Synod, and I asked him if he could maybe take me through the catechism, and he did.
Sure. Now, what roles have you had, or what things have you done here in the church?
Okay, and I made notes
That's okay.
because, 90 and 85, that makes us with a brain of 175 years old, and
I understand.
yeah, we don't always quite remember.
Yeah.
I taught Sunday school over on Western Avenue, and I think I might have here, but not much. And then we had a singing group called the Shekinah.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of people pronounce it Shekinah. Pastor Feeney says that's not how you pronounce it, so it's Shekinah.
Now, what does that mean?
Well, Shekinah means, I think, it's God's glory.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And starting out, there was probably about 6 of us. When we moved on, we got down to about 4.
Oh, okay.
And we sang at church. We sang at different churches in the area, and just had a wonderful time with that. And then, let me see what was next. Oh, the evangelism. Yeah. Pastor Feeney started evangelism, and it was really a wonderful program. And how it started out is that he chose 2 people, 1 male, 1 female, and took them through the whole course. And they would go out and visit people, and the first question they would ask, if you were to die tonight, why should God let you into heaven?
Okay.
Boy, did we get some, wow of answers.
Oh.
Yeah. And it became, and like I say, after they learned, they each chose a person.
Oh, okay.
Until we probably had about 10 teams.
About 10
that went out every week.
Every week.
Oh, every week.
Every week.
Wow.
And we had, at one time, we had pastors from different areas, from Indiana, Illinois. We even had one that was from California. And we took the pastors out and showed them how we did it. And they were given strict rules. Don't open your mouth. Even if you think that you know better and you can rescue them, keep your mouth shut and listen.
Oh, okay.
And so we did that. We had, each one of us had 2 pastors. So that made at least 20, 25 pastors.
So now, those pastors were got trained in that, so then they took it back to their congregation.
And they took it back to their
So that was kind
congregation.
of a ministry to the wider church.
It was wonderful.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And one of the people that, the name I had was a pastor. And his wife had sent in for information from the Lutheran Hour. So that's how we got their name.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
So you went and visited the pastors
We
for the
didn't
gospel.
know until we got in there that he was a pastor. And of course, the presentation was way different. And when we got out, they says, "Oh, you should have presented the gospel to him." And I says, "No, this man knew it.
Yeah.
This man knew it." So we had that, and that was really a wonderful, wonderful experience. And let me see, what was next? I was also in the church choir.
Okay.
Yeah, and then when the daycare started, I became director of the daycare for 15 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And until it ended, which we were all very sorry about. And then the Altar Guild.
Okay. And you still do Altar Guild?
Well, I'm a substitute now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, after 50 years, because I was in the altar guild for 50 years. And
well, you were the one that explained all that Trinity stuff to me, because I couldn't figure out, why the baptismal font was formed this way. And you say something about that? I think that's interesting. I don't think a lot of people know that.
Yes. Well, and his brother Jim helped design the church, and so that was just for that. There's so many triangles. If you look at the top where the fans are, they're triangles.
Oh, okay.
And so it's Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
Yeah, I totally did not see that until you said that, and I think that's something that maybe a lot of members maybe missed too. So there's a lot of triangles in here, and they're not by accident. That your family kind of designed it that way. That's pretty awesome.
Yes, and what I didn't realize until I became a member of the Altar Guild was that all the drains up there go directly to the ground. They do not go into the city sewage or anything. So that any time that we pour out like baptismal water, or if you happen to have too much wine and you pour the wine down, it doesn't go into the city. It goes directly into the ground.
Into the lawn.
Yeah, it goes right into the ground.
And I didn't realize that till I had joined the altar guild.
There's a French word for that I don't remember, but it's a design drain, because in Lutheran churches we don't want to just dump the blood of Christ down the drain, and so it actually goes into the ground like a burial in that sense.
Goes back into the ground.
And so that's reassuring.
Yes.
And I also thought there's something interesting too, is that the baptismal font, it has a drain in it. I've never seen that before in a Bible. I thought, look, this thing has a drain. I kind of brag about that to some fellow pastors. I'm just your baptismal font doesn't have a drain.
Well, Jim designed that.
Did he design that? Okay.
Yeah. So it goes, back
right to the ground,
back into the soil.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's very impressive.
So there's a lot of things I learned. Let me see if there's anything else that I've got here. I guess. Oh, we asked our daughter Debbie, and she said her remembering moments was when Warren Graff was the youth pastor.
Okay.
And it's interesting how we got him. He and his wife were in a singing group. And Pastor Finney was very big about bringing groups in, and we had from all over the place. And Warren and his wife were in there, and of course, a lot of these groups, they would stay all night because they weren't from around here. And our congregation would open up their doors, and I can't tell you how many times that we had one or two people that we put up at our home, as did a lot of the other.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was a ministry in itself. But anyway, Pastor Feeney was, was pushing for a youth pastor.
Okay.
And he talked to Warren. Warren was interested, and that's how we got Warren.
Oh, wow.
And we at that time, one of the first things he did was get a bus.
Oh.
Have you heard about our bus? It was a big school bus, but we had to repaint it.
Okay.
Because you couldn't put people other than school children on a yellow bus. And matter of fact, one time before it got painted, the police stopped the driver that was Lee Reynolds, and said, "You can't do this. It has to be painted." So it was painted with St. James Lutheran on it. But he took the kids all over the different places, along with and they still do that. And I'm trying to think of the name. There goes that 175-year-old brain. The youth.
Youth group or
yeah.
Yeah.
And they took him to the national
national
youth gathering.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
And so not only that, but he would just take trips.
Oh, wow.
He would take them out west for a while, and they had the bus so that the kids could sleep. They had made the one side of it, they had beds, trundle beds and things like that that they built into the
that's pretty cool.
yeah. So that is her wonderful memories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I know Pastor Feeney was kind of the first pastor who was here quite a long time.
Yeah.
And I think you're kind of some of the few people that were probably around. So what was he like? What was that ministry like?
He got into the charismatic movement.
Oh, okay.
He went down and was taught down in Florida
Okay.
with that group down there. And he got all this information and brought it back up here
Oh,
and said, well, we're going to try this.
Well, what he didn't know was that at that same time when he was getting the information, we were friends with a pastor, and his name was Walt Batman, and probably 20 of our members went to his church, and we received the baptism of the Holy Spirit
okay.
at a Pentecostal church.
Oh, okay.
And when this happened, Pastor Feeney said, now I know why I was looking into this.
Oh, okay.
Because somebody
So he
needed
got
to
harder.
haul us and,
But
say,
it got
whoa.
Oh,
it got so good that we went up to Michigan City and started a class up there
oh, okay.
of teaching those people up there
Okay.
how to talk to people about the Lord
Sure.
and all the good stuff that they got.
Sure.
And it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Well, he was basically a preacher, teacher,
Yeah.
learned so much. And I never will forget one time, and this is when we were over on Western Avenue. Cheryl, who is her oldest daughter, was in charge of one of the kids because Mom was in the hospital having another one. Well, that child was not behaving. And Pastor Feeney says, just a moment, got down out of the pulpit, went over and talked to Brad and told him to, and got up and finished preaching.
Sure.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to do it.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. But he also, I remember one time he was up in the pulpit and he said, I had a sermon in mind and I studied it, and he says, as I was walking up here, God told me that I had to change it.
Mm.
And it was to meet something, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was something in our congregation that we needed to hear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he just completely changed.
Yeah. It's interesting, before I took this call, I was in, of course, Toledo, and I mentioned I was taking this call, and there was an older pastor up there, a retired pastor, and when I told him where I was going, he said, oh, you're going to Feeney's church. I go, who? And he goes, oh yeah, he says, that guy was a mover and a shaker, and he said that he got very involved in the community and
Yes.
stuff like that.
Yes,
and
he did.
Yeah,
He sure
the
did.
outreach was,
He was a wonderful pastor.
yeah.
Very smart.
Yeah, but we learned so much from him.
Oh, okay.
And I still find myself every once in a while saying, well, I remember Pastor Feeney saying this. Yeah.
And he just recently passed away a few
Yes.
years ago, right?
Yeah.
It was,
Yes.
Him and his wife both.
right. And his
Yeah.
son was just recently here
Yeah.
at church with us.
He was
And
there.
Yeah.
hoping
And,
to interview him at some point too.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm still in touch with their daughter, Cheryl.
oh, okay.
And matter of fact, we were sponsors for one of Cheryl's kids. So that would be one of
Oh,
Pastor Feeney's one of his grandchildren. We were sponsors for.
so, I was thinking, like,
That is what we do.
what